Nobody feels more like a bot to me than people who insist that everyone on the internet other than them is a bot. Let me explain. Anytime I respond to some dog shit conservative hot take on Threads, which is a lot, it's kind of all I do on Threads, there's always someone, seemingly from my audience, who responds and condescendingly says something like, "Don't waste your time on this account. It's pretty obviously a bot," or "Don't give them attention or engagement. It's just a bot," or "Dude, I'm begging you to please stop feeding the bots." Why do so many people say this? The first and main reason, if I had to guess, is probably dead internet theory. If you're not familiar, dead internet theory in a nutshell is the theory that most of the human users on the internet have actually been long since replaced by billions and billions of bots from thousands of data centers all over the globe, and that functionally the internet is no longer a real place populated by actual living human beings. I mean, the internet was never a literal physical place, but there was at least a time where the majority of the content on the internet was produced by humans for humans, and one could be reasonably assured that all of the engagement on that content, from the likes to the shares to the comments, was primarily generated by real human users. But the dead internet theory posits that as mass data centers have gotten bigger and bigger, along with the subsequent proliferation and popularization of generative AI, the internet is now more artificial than ever. In fact, it might be mostly fake. Most of what you see might just be bots that were created to feed you misinformation and propaganda to distract you from the class war the billionaire class is actively waging and handily winning against the entire planet. There's a lot of validity to dead internet theory that is worth exploring and considering. That being said, here's my problem with it. Dead internet theory has so many people convinced that there are no real people left on the internet, and that's just so clearly and obviously not true. At least for now, at the tail end of the year 2025, the internet still has a fuck ton of real human users. Every person you know is on the internet every single day. Even those few friends who claim they don't really do social media are still on the internet. They're just seeing the videos you watch on Reels or TikTok or YouTube Shorts on Reddit. There are billions of human users posting, liking, sharing, and commenting on content every single day. I'm one of them. You're one of them. Yes, there are definitely a fuck ton of bots on the internet as well, and way too much AI slop being forced down our collective throats, but that doesn't mean real, living people have abandoned online spaces entirely, at least not yet. And this is why I say that nobody feels more like a bot to me than people who keep insisting that everyone else is a bot, especially the users they disagree with. There's this really weird cognitive dissonance with these people where they seem to have no problem accepting that every profile that comments or posts opinions they agree with is a profile owned and operated by a real flesh and blood human being, but every account sharing misinformation or opinions they find stupid or ridiculous is automatically labeled a bot and therefore deemed not worthy of serious consideration. After all, no real person could actually be that stupid or that wrong, right? And that's my problem with this idea. Whether the accounts I'm responding to on Threads actually are bots or not doesn't really matter to me. The opinions I'm responding to, the ideas I'm working to dismantle are very, very real. They are real opinions and beliefs held by conservatively tens of millions of real people. Yes, real people can indeed be that stupid and that wrong. Yes, real people regularly are that stupid and that wrong about all kinds of things. When one of these insane misinformation propaganda posts has thousands of likes and shares, whether the account the post is coming from is a real person or a paid worker at a rage bait farm or a genuine AI programmed to lie, The people hitting the like and share buttons are largely real people. Many of the people commenting that they agree are real people. Gullible and infuriatingly stupid people, but real people nonetheless. We know this because we encounter these people in real life all the time. We know they exist. We know they aren't simply the imagined invention of rage bait farms and hallucinating AI chatbots. I think there are two reasons why people say don't engage with that post, it's just a bot, or just block them and move on. It's clearly a bot, bro. The first reason, if I'm being generous, is that these people are employing the Lisa Simpson technique from that Treehouse of Horror episode where all of the ads come to life and she convinces the town that they'll all go away if we just don't look. They thrive off of attention. They require it to survive. So if we simply deny them the attention they desperately need, they'll eventually all starve and die. But the second reason people do this is the foundation of my entire thesis for this video, because as I already said, it is definitely true that there are a lot of bots on the internet. There are a lot of accounts that are either bad actors from propaganda farms who are paid to post misinformation, or AI chatbots programmed by billionaires to fuel the culture war. But whether the accounts I'm responding to are real people or not isn't my concern. The ideas are real, and that's what I'm responding to. I'm trying to not let these ideas spread like a virus into the cultural consciousness unchallenged. And this specifically is what makes people who tell me to stop engaging with bots sound like bots, because they sound like they are trying to get me to stop resisting, to stop challenging the toxic sludge being pumped into the collective mind of humanity. It really feels like they're saying, when you see a post where someone is clearly lying or sharing wildly dangerous or bigoted misinformation, don't worry about it. It's probably just a bot. Real people don't think that way, and you're actually just helping to spread the message by engaging with it. If we all just agree to ignore it, then it will go away, because real people know not to believe propaganda when they see it. Real people know how to avoid the influence of obvious liars and bad actors. You don't need to trouble yourself with the work of responding to these opinions to point out how harmful and wrong they are. All the real people already know all of that. Just let the bots talk amongst themselves. Just let the bots do their thing. Are you starting to get how that sounds like the exact kind of thing that a bot would say? You don't need to worry about me. Don't bother challenging the misinformation in this post. Don't bother pointing out how blatantly stupid this post is. You're actually stupid for even thinking of doing that. Even if that's not what you're intending to say when you write these comments, even if you are just operating under the assumption that the Lisa Simpson approach is the way to go, it's important that you understand that this is how you sound when you write these comments. At least to me, you sound like someone who is saying that racism, misogyny, homophobia, transphobia, bigotry in all forms is something that can be defeated by simply ignoring it and pretending it doesn't exist. And it's important to me that you understand why that's a problem. I was just about to post this video when I saw this on Threads, and I wanted to respond directly to it because I think it kind of encapsulates a lot of what I'm talking about here in this video. Whoever posted this, whether they're a real account or not, I don't know, but I feel like they're getting at the heart of what most people feel when it comes to bots on the internet, which is just, these aren't real people. Don't bother talking to them. You're arguing with a rock. You're arguing with the wall. You look silly. You look foolish when you argue with the egregore, because just because it has a human sounding name and just because other people are liking and sharing this opinion, you look like an idiot when you're arguing with it, because you're arguing with nothing. And that's where we get this slogan, right? Remember, kids, don't feed the egregores. But I think this person has it completely reversed. If this person is indeed an actual person and not just another egregore. This person is pushing the idea that we are feeding bots when we respond to their misinformation and their bigotry. I think in actuality, it's the other way around. It's the bots that are trying to feed misinformation and bigotry to the stupid humans. Like, the dumbest among us are being fed a healthy diet of nonstop AI slop and hate and bigotry and misinformation all day, every day. The bots don't need to be fed. They have an infinite supply. They can always come up with a new profile, a new account. They don't even necessarily need to go viral. They don't need the engagement in order to stay viable. They can post hundreds of times a day on every single platform on the internet. The way I see it, when I respond to a post that has misinformation or bigotry in it, when I dunk on that post with either a correction or a substantive refutation, or just by insulting it and pointing out how stupid that post is, I'm not feeding the egregore. I'm actually interrupting the egregore as it is feeding a bunch of bullshit, a bunch of harmful nonsense into the collective hive mind of humanity. I'm pointing out to all of the humans who are being fed by that egregore how stupid the shit the egregore is feeding them is. And from that perspective, this post starts to look a lot less like it says, don't feed the egregores, and a lot more like it actually says, don't challenge the egregores. Don't interrupt the egregores while they are doing their very important work. Don't resist the egregores, which is the exact kind of thing that the bots would want, right? Because if the bots can convince us all to stop challenging them, if they can convince us that by responding to them, we're actually only helping them, if they can convince us that resistance is cringe and makes you look silly because you can't tell the difference between a cause worth caring about and a nonsense post by a racist chatbot that only other chatbots could ever possibly take seriously, if they can convince us that these ideas do not need any substantive refutations or pushback, then they can be free to spread whatever message they want completely unopposed. You always want to know why people like me gotta beef with. Hey, thanks for watching that video. I hope it made sense what I was trying to say. It's just like the internet's not dead yet, right? So we don't have to behave as though it is. We can rage against the dying of the light. We don't have to go gently into that good night. Also, my Patreon is just $1 a month. It's just $1. And all of my content goes there, everything that I make on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, and it usually gets posted early, often with bonus content. I post exclusive content there that only goes there. Just shout out to the Patreon patrons, to the Patreon community. Thank you for supporting this work in a world that is increasingly overrun by AI and bots. It's cool to know that you get to support a real live person in their actual real human pursuits. So, check that out. Also, check out my podcast, The Oneer, that I do with my best friend Kramer England, where we just talk about movies. If sometimes this channel's getting a little too heavy and you just want to hear me break down movies with my bud, over on The Oneer podcast, everything is linked in the description. I'm not fixing that mistake. I'm leaving it in. That's how it's gonna be. Okay, that's just how it's gonna be.